was this walkover allowed? All charges that the government, by the way, predictably has refuted. In fact, Piyush Goyal today made a statement on behalf of the government and questioned the intention of the Congress and Rahul Gandhi, wondering whether a deal that benefits India is irking the Congress simply because they had taken the impasse so far. They had gloated about that impasse and said that India-America ties were at a nadir.
जो ट्रेड डील 4 महीने से रुकी हुई थी 4 महीने से कुछ बदला नहीं, किसी न किसी कारण। जो मैं जानता हूं नरेंद्र मोदी जानते हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने कल शाम उस डील को साइन कर दिया। नरेंद्र मोदी जी पर प्रेशर है, भयंकर प्रेशर है, और नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो इमेज का गुब्बारा है, जो हजारों करोड़ रुपए लेकर बनाया गया था, वो फूट सकता है।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हमेशा एग्रीकल्चर और डेयरी इन दोनों सेक्टर्स को संभाला है, उनके हितों को संभाला है। कभी उनके साथ, उनके हितों के साथ समझौता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने नहीं होने दिया। मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं राहुल गांधी जी की। झूठ और फरेब के नाम पे वो लोगों को गुमराह करना चाहते हैं। उनको देश की तरक्की से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। देश आगे बढ़ रहा है, विश्व की सबसे तेज गति से बढ़ने वाली अर्थव्यवस्था बना है, उनको उससे कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं है।
स्पष्टता से हम क्या जाने कि क्या हो गया इसमें?
आशंका
क्या
है?
खुशी की बात है या नहीं है? अरे आशंका यह है कि जो ट्रंप साहब ने कहा उनके ट्वीट पे, ये तो मोदी साहब ने नहीं कहा उनके ट्वीट पे, तो हम सिर्फ ट्वीट्स देख के क्या समझना चाहिए? ये जब एक पार्लियामेंट सेशन में है, सरकार को आके बताना नहीं चाहिए? जब ट्रंप कहते हैं कि एग्रीकल्चर में ये करेगा, तो उसका मतलब क्या है कि हमारे किसानों के लिए क्या प्रोटेक्शन किया आपने? या अगर ट्रंप साहब कह रहे हैं कि $500 बिलियन भारत खर्च करेंगे, तो हमारी पूरी इंपोर्ट बिल $700 है, 700 बिलियन है। इसका मतलब क्या है कि दूसरे देशों के अलावा हम सारी चीजें अमेरिका से इंपोर्ट करेंगे?
कांग्रेस कोई भी अच्छा चीज का तारीफ नहीं कर सकते हैं, वो आदत बन चुका है। अगर कांग्रेस कभी अच्छा चीज का तारीफ करेंगे तो उसको भी लोग थोड़ा थोड़ा तो क्रेडिट देंगे। वो खुद तो काम नहीं कर पाते हैं, और अच्छा चीज देश के लिए कोई भी कामयाब, देश के लिए कोई भी उपलब्धि कांग्रेस को अच्छा नहीं लगता है, ये कांग्रेस खुद ही दर्शाते रहते हैं।
The government, meanwhile, is pointing to the numbers. Even at 18%, India's tariff levels remain lower than several major economies, especially our main competition. In fact, the government assured that once the fine print is ironed out, a joint statement would be made by both the countries. But in the meantime, there shouldn't be any doubt that India's interests and those of its farmers, of the dairy sector, have been kept at the forefront, which makes one ask, when the India-US trade deal has led to a massive tariff cut, which is what India had been working for all of this while, why the talk of surrender? Is there any kind of cloud over the timing of this deal? What's the Epstein link that is being suggested? Has India in the last 12 months really shown that at the end of the day, it is the country that knows the art of the deal best? Joining us on the show today, right at the top, we have Arvind Panagriya, Chairman of the 16th Finance Commission and Chancellor at Nalanda University, former Vice Chairman at the Niti Aayog. We'll also have a big panel which will help you decode exactly what to make of all the jargon you've heard over the last 12 hours. But I want to ask you first, Mr. Panagriya, you know, there's a lot of political chest thumping, but for the ordinary person, what does this trade agreement mean? And the slashing of the tariff from 50% to 18%, what does it mean in real terms for people like me and our viewers?
All right, so Padmaja, first of all, so what 18% tariff means for us is that we have better access to the US market than virtually any other country. China is at 34%. All other countries are above 18 for sure, you know, whether it's Bangladesh or Vietnam or Indonesia for that matter. So that's number one. Our access to the US market is better than any other countries. We have also signed the deal with the European Union, and that together translates into a largest market where goods and services can flow freely between India and Europe completely freely, and between United States at 18% tariff, which is lower than anybody else's. So from the investor's point of view, India today looks better than any other country. It has got a very fantastic labor force, about 600 million workers, with virtually every level of skill is available here. Land is quite vast. We have that. And now a market, not only the internal market, which is substantial at $4 trillion economy, but European market is available and the US market is available. So, from an investor's point of view, where would you like to go? China used to be the favorite, but we know that uncertainties in the Chinese markets are now much greater. In fact, from the Chinese market, investors are fleeing now. So where do they plan to go? I think India is the place now.
Why couldn't it be lower? Why 18%? Why couldn't it be 0? There are other countries which are enjoying a lower tariff than even us. Why couldn't we be there at the 10% level or the 12% level? Or maybe even 0?
Well, that was not on the table. That's simple. Yes, if that was on the table, let's have 0. But what is not on the table is, if you want to stay at 50, in the hope that if we wait another maybe 4 years or 3 years, we'll get to 0.
But sir, if UK can get 10%, Brazil can get 10%, Japan can get 15%, why can't we also negotiate it down to that?
No. Nobody has got 10%. You're wrong. 10% was across the board on everything, additional tariff. On top of what existed already in terms of the MFN tariffs of the United States. So absolutely nobody has got 10%. And a few countries have got a little lower. But look at your competitors. What do they have? Japan is not your competitor really in the US market. China is your competitor. Maybe Vietnam is your competitor in textiles or apparel, particularly. Bangladesh may be your competitor, but you're doing better than all of those countries. And look at the totality of it. By the way, also, we all focus only on the liberalization that happens in the partner country. But it also is liberalization in our own country. And what really benefited India most over the last 2 to 3 decades is our own liberalization. If you think that protection helped, we tried that for 50 years. And our exports in 2002, as recently as 2002, were only $50 billion. But it's thanks to liberalization, which within a decade actually multiplied it by 6. By 2011-12, we were $300 billion worth of exports. That's all thanks to our own liberalization. So don't forget the benefits of our own liberalization that has happened as a result of both of these two deals, European Union and the United States.
Now, there is questions being asked about Mr. Trump saying that India has agreed to completely cut off the oil supply from Russia. Now we are going to shift to America and Venezuela. All this while we were told that it's in India's best interest because we're getting the cheapest fuel from Russia. How does this make sense for us to stop that pipeline and instead, at America's insistence, shift to the US and Venezuela?
Well, first of all, the oil price has now come to be unified more or less, whether you buy it from Venezuela or the United States or from Russia or from Saudi Arabia. So it's not like the oil price now is so much lower when you import from Russia. But be that as it may, the basic point is that you're looking at a package of the deal. And is the package better than your other alternative that you're offering me? No. The package is what that we have as a package. What we have got is far superior than the alternative. You can keep buying Russian oil, and if you want to trade that for the 25% tariff in the US market, you can do that. You're free to do that. I personally wouldn't advise that. I would much rather take the 25% cut in the tariff and pay a little bit more on oil, even if I have to do that. That's the trade-off. I mean, we always argue as if only one item is on the table. It's not just one item, it's a package that is on the table.
And it's called a deal for a reason because both sides want to walk away with something. It's not like we are going to...
Absolutely.
America is going to roll over and die just because we want the best, what is being asked for us domestically when it comes to politics. But I want to ask you a final question. In your assessment, this has been called a win-win deal by the government yesterday. For the layperson, what are the three factors in your view which would make it a win-win? Because we still don't have the fine print right now. From what we know so far, what makes it win-win for us?
Well, most of all, I really think that we got very good access to the market of the United States. And if we play it right, if we do what is necessary to do in terms of the domestic reforms also, look at the apparel market. It's close to about $500 billion market. The US market alone would be over 100 billion, perhaps. I mean, I haven't checked the numbers, but very likely it will be that much. China is exiting that market. We are the natural country to replace China on that. So we have a jobs issue, and what better market than the US market and the European market also, I'll add that. So on that front, I think job creation prospects very, very good because of this. Provided we also do a few necessary things on the domestic market. That's first. Second, now with both the European market and the US market open to us, India becomes a fantastic location for the investors. You got 600 million workers market with all skill levels available here. We got land, businesses have to locate on land also, and a domestic market of $4 trillion. So for investors, that's a fantastic, great deal. And third, which for me as a trade economist should be the first thing, is that a lot of the products that we import from European Union and China, they become cheaper. We always ignore the interest of the consumer, but the consumer benefits. And really they make, I am old enough to remember what was available to me when I was growing up in India in the 60s, 70s and 80s. And when I came to the US in the mid 70s, I was shocked. I mean, it was total shock, what was available here and what was available to me in India. Yeah, it was an eye-opener. Today, all of you see it, television, everything, you travel so much. So you know what exists there and what exists here in India, and you never notice it. But the difference it makes to the consumers for the products to become available, even on agriculture, when you are saying, things like avocados, berries, pecans, things that we don't even grow.
Yeah.
We don't have to open the US, the market in agriculture to on everything, but at least the goods that we don't even produce at home are customer benefits, consumer benefits. So those are my three kind of big wins for India.
Mr. Panigrahi, for helping us declutter all the information that has been thrown at us over the last 24 hours. Thanks very much, sir. And on a personal note, even as somebody growing up in the 80s and 90s, we remember what a luxury it was to get that Wrigley's chewing gum when someone came from America. So
exactly.
Totally empathize, sir. Totally empathize. Consumer is king. Thanks very much for joining us. Let me open this up, take it to our guests now and get into the politics of it. Pradeep Bhandari, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Professor Hindol Sen Gupta, Professor of International Relations at OP Jindal Global University, Ghanshyam Tiwari, National Spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, and political analysts Ashutosh Ji and Sanjay Jha join us now. But Pradeep Bhandari, did you do it because of Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, Padmaja, you are very well aware that a deal, when a deal is struck, it is not happening in a moment of 1 day or 2 days. It's a matter of negotiations which go on. But it's a very historic day because if you look and analyze it in the global context, every major economy wants a trade deal with India. And in the last 12 months, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India has been able to get 5 trade deals. So whether it is the mother of all deals with the European Union or the father of all deals with United States of America, whether it's a deal with Australia, whether it is a deal with UAE, India is the only country across the global community which everybody wants to be friends with.
No,
and
but the timing, and let me be very clear, because it has been specifically said today, last 4 months this deal was stuck. Nothing changed over the last 4 months, and suddenly, what was the catalyst for this deal coming through now, except the embarrassment of the Epstein files has been alleged directly by the principal opposition party today? What was the catalyst for this
Congress?
deal?
No, the catalyst is absolutely similar, that there are negotiations which take place, and in a negotiation, when you come on a table, there are points on which you agree to. And as the Honorable Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, made it very clear that India has protected its agriculture sector, in particular the dairy sector. But what is very important is that two large economies have agreed to come together. Now, the fine print of the deal will be known to you and me, but historic is that China has been tariffed at 34% and India has been tariffed at 18%. Which tells you that in an era where IMF projects that the world economy will be dominated by India and China contributing 44%, it is India which US and every other country wants to partner with. And tomorrow India will be the leader of the world economy. This is not what I am saying. In fact, likes of those who drive the capitalist world also acknowledge that the balance of power is shifting.
Okay.
On the allegations of the Congress party, the issue with the Congress is Congress wanted to make it a political point. The Congress thought that on India not having a trade deal with the United States of America, it will go around and try to create a political atmosphere. It failed in Rafale. It was fake. This will fail even further because the people of the country know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi did diplomacy with dignity, with patience, and keeping India's national interest supreme. This is why it took time. But when it was in our national interest, we got the deal done.
So you're saying the catalyst is, Sanjay Jha, that we had a number of countries, we looked elsewhere, and we had other countries that we signed deals with. We had EU on board, we had Oman, New Zealand, UK, and America realized that it didn't want to miss the bus. So to drag in Epstein is slightly facile, no? I mean, not like there was any Epstein files with the EU, where you had the EU leadership in India and saying that this is the mother of all deals, unless they have a file that you know and I don't know about.
Padmaja, good evening to you and to all my fellow panelists I have a lot of respect for. Let me quickly address the Epstein file and come down to the more fundamental issue of the trade deal. Where the Epstein file is concerned, first, congratulations to you, Padmaja, because a lot of the big media is not even mentioning Epstein files. But at some point, Mr. Modi and Mr. Bhandari and his ilk will have to explain to the people of this country, you are accountable to the people of this country. The Epstein file is not a conspiracy theory. It is not Rahul Gandhi putting out a tweet. Is from the Department of Justice of the US government. And if they believe...
It has already been rejected by the
Can I
MEA.
speak? Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? Why are you getting nervous? Wait for me to finish.
I'm not getting nervous. I'm telling you the MEA has rejected it.
But people are watching you. Interruption is a form of nervousness. You're hurting your cause. So here is my simple point. Here is my simple point, Padmaja.
I want to gently point out you have regularly interrupted the last 2 days in Parliament, but please go on. Go on, Sanjay Jha.
I haven't. I haven't. I can speak for myself. The bottom line is, if the Indian Prime Minister is subjected to a kind of language so disparaging that he sang and danced in Israel, which pleased Mr. Trump, and people like Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein saying it worked, I think India needs to hear what the hell was going on there.
And you
Mr. Modi
think that India as a country signed on a trade deal with the United States of America because of some files, where also there has been no actual involvement proven. You think this is why we signed the deal? And I ask you this because this is an allegation made by none other than the leader of opposition of our country.
Yes. Now, the point is Rahul Gandhi has every right as the leader of the opposition because he's got a team with him. They do their own research. And if he believes that there is some kind of a political exigencies that perhaps accelerated the deal, he has a right to that opinion.
Why did New Zealand sign a deal with us? Why did the EU sign a deal with us?
Yeah, but
why did they go out of their way to ensure that they sign a deal, they come to India and they call it the mother of all deals? What do they have on us?
Yeah, but here's the point. And I mean, a lot has been talked about the trade deal. I can tell you 2 points very quickly. And let me respond to a man whom I respect a lot, Arvind Panagria. And I'll tell you where he's wrong today. Number one, Mr. Panagria...
Let's finalize this Epstein link. Because, it seems really, really troubling that our political discourse is at a point where we are linking something as serious as a trade deal to an Epstein files. And this is being said in the parliament of our country.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why.
Seriously believe this?
I'll tell you, not just as an analyst, I'm pretty much in mainstream politics. So let me tell you something very important. The government of the day, I'm shocked. I'm absolutely stunned, as I'm sure a lot of people in India are. An Epstein file is an international sex scandal where the Department of Justice's revelations have attacked their own US president. So please do not see any political brinksmanship here. Mr. Modi's government by now should have begun to make disclosures without Rahul Gandhi asking for
Mr.
explanations
Jha,
in Parliament.
You think it is
That is the
relevant
point.
to connect it to a trade deal? Do you genuinely feel hand on heart that it can be connected to a trade deal coming through?
Well, Padmaja, let me now quote to you the US media, which has been actively following Mr. Trump and the Epstein file. You know what the US government is saying? You know what the US media is saying? The US media has actually gone so far as to say, in fact, people who have been part of the right wing and the Republican supporters, they have been saying publicly that the Epstein file is an attempt to blackmail the Mossad and the Israel are blackmailing the American president. They have him with some very damning
Okay, so there is some blackmail happening at India's end.
There is a political element.
Change of circumstances. Please respond to this, Pradeep Bhandari. Then I want to bring everyone in, please. And we have many more substantive, actual points which are there in this deal, which I think people need to know about. Pradeep Bhandari.
Well, Padmaja, it is extremely atrocious because Rahul Gandhi believes that everybody does what Rahul does. The day Congress party and Rahul Gandhi tells us that what was he doing on a foreign vacation with a quote-unquote a lady that nobody knows about, this is what Rahul should first start disclosing. So nobody in this country knows about Rahul Gandhi's quote-unquote private foreign destination trips from Bangkok to Thailand. So that is point number one. And on the particular part of that file, well, the MEA completely rejected it. It is baseless. It is atrocious. But I understand the compulsion of Congress because the Congress would believe in an Epstein more. Congress will believe in a Pakistan more. The Congress will believe in an adversary more because the Congress is absolutely unhappy whenever the Indian country progresses under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Today, everybody knows. Till yesterday, Congress was saying, where's the deal? Now we've got a rate which is less than China, which is best in compared to any other exporting economy. The Congress has a problem. How was the deal arrived? So the Congress hates India's progress. That is the essence of it. And I challenge on your show to Sanjay Jha, can you please show me any allegation of Rahul Gandhi which has stood merit of fact on the court of law from Rafale to any other?
Okay, but let's stick to the deal because I think
trade deal is a sellout.
I think people,
India's interests have been sold.
You are known to sell out things, Sanjay. Don't think that everybody will do what Gandhi
It's on record.
for 70
I
years.
can argue with you. Do a face-off with me. I'll prove you wrong in 2 minutes. Tell me one thing. Why have you promised $500 billion in purchase?
How are you going to
what
has the Indian Prime Minister said? Well, the Indian Prime Minister has said that the deal has got the tariff 18%. Do you even know the fine print of the
And
deal?
America has zero tariff.
Minister, the Indian common... Well, are you talking nonsense, Sanjay? Things which... क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? जो 50% का टैरिफ है वो 18% का लेके आ गए 34% चीन के ऊपर टैरिफ लगा
भैया पहले 2% था
पहले थोड़ा पढ़ लो
पहले 2% था अब 18 हो गया है
अरे भैया जाके कंपीटिंग इकोनॉमीज
And you have promised America 0%. America has 0% tariff and they are imposing 18% on us.
उन चीजों के ऊपर है जिसपे नहीं
क्या हुआ रेसिप्रोकल टैरिफ का भैया?
अरे भैया काहे घबरा रहे हो? चीन को 34 हो गया।
फंस गए आप।
चीन को 34 आ गया।
फंस गए भंडारी जी।
30% है, भारत को 18% है, ये दिक्कत है।
Lighter note, I have to say, in the middle of a debate,
मोदी जी आप सब लोगों को
how the inner Bihari of Sanjay Jha surfaces every now and then with that accent of his. But please let me open this up. There was specific argument made, Professor Hindol Sengupta, by Sanjay Jha here. How is it that we get taxed 18%, but we give a full walkover, we give 0% to America? How is that okay? Hindol Sengupta.
Sorry, in all the screaming and shouting, I couldn't understand that this question was addressed to me. The sheer illiteracy of the shouting from Sanjay Jha is appalling. Sanjay Jha should know that number one,
calm down,
you
Professor.
can only
Don't make
deal
personal
with
comments.
what is
Calm down.
the numbers
Calm
that
down.
are...
Take a deep breath, Sengupta.
Shut
Calm
up,
down.
Sanjay.
Don't get petty. Don't get vicious.
You know,
Gentlemen, let's keep it civil, please. Yes.
Yeah. Ask him to start.
You know, I'm sorry to say this. I'm going to sound
Because
like
you carry a
I'm going to
professor
sound like
tag
my
doesn't
friend
make
Anand
you behave
Ranganathan.
like one.
Even the light bouncing of Sanjay Jha's bald pate has more intelligence.
This guy's got a problem. Padmaja, this guy's got a problem.
Why getting personal?
He has nothing to say. You're an obscene character. I'm going to call you out on this show. You're obscene.
Okay,
you don't
gentlemen,
deserve to
I
be
really request. This
an
is a very, very serious
embarrassment.
issue. I think people really need to know if India has lost out or made huge gains. Please,
Arey bhaiya,
Sen
Amit Shah bhi
Gupta,
taklu hai.
why does
Amit Shah bhi
can someone please? Okay, everyone's mic down. Hindol Sen Gupta, why is it that we get tariffed 18%, America gets a walkover with 0%? That's the question.
You can only deal on trade terms with the deal that is offered by the most powerful trading country and the most powerful economy in the world. There is no point in trying to deal with numbers that don't exist on the table. This was the deal that was offered to us. The moot point in this is the following. You have to compare the numbers compared to what other countries are being offered. And what countries are these? You have to compare yourself and the deal that is offered to you with other countries who are in competition with you. Everybody who understands this knows that for the last decade, we've been talking about something called the China Plus strategy. What is the China Plus strategy? That as trade moves away from China, as in many companies in America and other parts of the world want to hedge against China and Chinese manufacturing, India is the best bet. But India is in competition with other countries. Countries like Vietnam, countries like Cambodia and other countries that could effectively compete with India. Therefore, the rates that they have and the rates that we have when dealing with the biggest economy in the world, which is the United States, matters. And therefore, the fact that we have less than Vietnam, for instance, just as an example, matters a great deal. Now, this is the best deal we could have had in the circumstances that exist today. So the reason it helps us is it gives us a competitive edge in this whole China Plus strategy. This is a very simple thing that literally everyone who studies this understands. It helps our FDI, which had been plummeting. It helps the fact that many of our manufacturers were really hurting. You see what people like Baba Kalyani had been saying. Look, manufacturing is not a magic wand. You cannot say, as many Americans said, that, well, why can't you just manufacture these things in America? You can't. You need supply chains, you need an ecosystem, you need a whole range of things. Therefore, you cannot just up it and move it to some other country. Therefore, it was very important for us to get a particular rate that makes us competitive. The operating word here, Padmaja, is competitive. Okay. And I think we've got a very competitive rate. This is the best thing that we can get at this present moment. And let me also say one more thing. I do think this kind of pressure, in a sense, has made us more competitive. We had certain non-tariff barriers, which were, in a sense, fallen into bureaucratic disuse. We had to cut that slack and cut that sloth out of our system. Remember, it took 20 years for the EU deal to happen. Okay. And suddenly, once these tariffs things came on the table, both the EU and India fast-tracked it because they both realized this needs to be done and done now.
All right. Sanjay Chowk, quick response. Then I want to bring in Ashutosh and Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Yeah, very quickly, even Mr. Arvind Panagriya, whom I respect a lot, talked about India having an advantage over countries in this China plus one. Here is the truth that not many of these right-wingers will tell you. India has already lost the China plus one battle. Most of the China plus one investments have actually gone to countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. And there is one thing that a lot of people don't know, Padmaja. There is something called as a generalized system of preferences, which give goods and services an exemption from duty, which these countries have, and India under Mr. Modi lost it in 2019 because Donald Trump removed that. So to believe that because they are at 20% tariff and we are at 18, we are better off is like living in a fool's paradise. My second point, all these countries that India is competing with have a lower cost of producing goods than India. India's manufacturing is no longer competitive. And these tariffs at even 18% are going to hurt Indian exports. They will make no difference at all because earlier the US tariff was effectively 2 or 3% on Indian goods. And we are jumping at 18. It's bizarre.
Okay. Why have we made peace with 18% when at one time it was 2%, Pradeep Bhandari?
Well, Professor Hindol Sen Gupta has explained it and every economist has explained it. Sanjay will not understand because Sanjay's economic knowledge is exactly that of Rahul Gandhi.
PhD ho bhaiya, PhD ho, doctor ho.
Again he started to speak in between. Actually, yesterday he was saying कि जो बीच में बोलता है उसके argument नहीं होते. Now Sanjay is contradicting Sanjay. This is what is classic Congress. Let me just quote certain facts. Fact number one, Sanjay Jha was saying that India has lesser FDI than Vietnam. Absolutely fake news. India's FDI flows are more than Vietnam.
I never said that.
Point number 2. Please look at any global
Open
rating
fake
agency,
news.
Padmaja, and it's an open again. Sanjay is
But why are you
interrupting.
spreading-
Sanjay, why are you so weak on your argument that you have interrupted 10 times? You are interrupting Hindol. You are interrupting me. What has happened to you, Sanjay? Sometimes you have some facts. This time you have zero facts. Allow me to make my argument. Let your argument win.
We are both Biharis.
Sanjay, I think.
छोड़ो मोदी को, हमारे तरफ आ जाओ.
Okay, one at a time, please. Yes.
आपकी तरफ से एंटी नेशनल्स आ सकते हैं, हम राष्ट्रवादी हैं, हम हमेशा भाजपा के साथ रहेंगे. Now my point is very simple, and Padmaja, I challenge on your show to Sanjay Jha. Look at any global rating agency. Every global rating agency acknowledges that India today is an oasis of macroeconomic stability with the fastest growth and the best macroeconomic fundamentals. And precisely that geographic agnostic, every major economy wants to do a trade deal with India.
Okay.
It's not a mere coincidence that India can do it with the EU, with the US, with an Australia, with the UK. It reflects inherent strengths of Indian economy under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Congress will not acknowledge it because Congress left this economy at twin deficits and double-digit inflation on the part of 18%. It's the best competitive rate. Vietnam is at 19, China is at 34, which means that our competitors are worse compared to us.
Okay,
which means that the Indian economy and Indian food will have better advantage in export market.
This tariff rate has made us competitive, and as Arvind Panagria has argued, it is going to create jobs, it is going to make India a lucrative investment destination, and all in all, consumer is going to benefit the most.
See, after hearing Panagria, I got a sense and I was reminded of the movie called Godfather, where it was said, I'll offer you a deal which you can't refuse because the gun was pointed here. This is what Mr. Trump did to Mr. Narendra Modi.
Listen, how we quote from The Godfather. He said, make me an offer I can't refuse. That was the exact dialogue.
It meant exactly the same thing. So let's not get into this. And I also was enlightened that when you are in a government that you don't speak the truth, probably half-truth. He's saying we are trying to compete with Vietnam, we are trying to compete with Bangladesh, we are trying to compete with Pakistan, Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand. Is it?
No. Ashutosh,
I was taken to believe. Let me. I do not disturb anybody. I do not disturb anybody.
You cannot misquote me.
I do not disturb anybody.
You cannot misquote me. Do not misquote me. I never used the word Pakistan or Bangladesh.
I do not disturb anybody.
You do not have the right to misquote me. You do not have the right to misquote me.
I do not disturb anybody.
You do not have the right to misquote me.
No. Please,
Fine.
please have patience.
Let him make his opening comment, and then I'll come to you for a clarification, Pradeep Bhandari.
I can't. I do not know what happens to the BJP spokesperson when I start speaking. I get under their skin. No,
you
the
do not.
issue is very simple.
You are misquoting me.
No, Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, will you shut up? So what I'm trying to say is that
have your language controlled.
We are made to believe. Padmaja, either he can be on the show or I can be on the show.
Yes, one at a time, please. One at a time.
Yeah. So, in the last 12 years, we are made to believe that we are the Vishwaguru. We are competing with the best economies in the world, probably with the EU, with America and the China. Now we are told that we are competing with Bangladesh, Malaysia, Cambodia, and all kinds of the countries. So we have to decide what. If we are competing with EU, then what is the percentage of 15%, Japan 15%, UK 10%?
Economies like us, in this particular arena, we are competing with these countries. Because if we are talking about textile exports, if we are talking about certain industries, these are the countries that we are competing with in that specific sphere.
So let's not have the pretense that we are competing with the best economies in the world. Let's not have a pretense. Let me complete. I think don't get hassled. Let me complete. You know what is the deal? What is the deal? Deal is you can't buy oil from Russia. The deal is you can't have any allocation in the budget about the Chabar port in Iran. That is the deal. The deal is the Americans will increase their tariff by 6 times from 3% to almost 18%. And India's perspective from 12% to 0. That is a deal. That's what I said. I'll offer you a deal you can't refuse. If that is a deal and we are tom-tomming about it, then let's have an explanation from the government.
Pradeep Bhandari is calling it fake news.
That why are we surrendering our right to buy oil from Russia? Why are we surrendering our right to buy oil from Iran? Why are we surrendering our right to support a budget allocation to Chabar port? Is it not under pressure? Why should we buy oil from Venezuela and America, which is much costly?
Okay.
We from Russia, we are getting oil at $18 per barrel. Now, from the USA, are we going to buy from $60 per barrel?
Okay, before Pradeep Bhandari answers the specific question on why have we given up our right to buy oil from Russia, can you please clarify this, Hindol Sen Gupta? The point Ashutosh is making, that when we wanted to compete with the top 3 economies in the world, why suddenly are we analyzing ourselves in relation to countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, in talking about these tariffs?
I'm sure Ashutosh ji knows. I'm sure Ashutosh ji knows that until recently, India was very happily buying oil from Venezuela. Now the circumstances changed after that. And India is happy to buy energy from anybody which would supply or who would supply energy to India at a competitive price. India only stopped buying energy or oil from Venezuela because of US pressure. Now we can sit here and keep debating this as if the world is a world where everybody is in equal power. But no, you are dealing with the most strong and most effective, and most powerful country in the world, which is the United States. The United States pushed sanctions about Venezuelan oil, which is why we stopped buying Venezuelan oil. Today, the circumstances have changed. We are very happy to go back and buy Venezuelan oil. We will buy effective energy and cost-effective energy from anyone who supplies it to us. We have absolutely no problem. We only want to ensure that the price is right. The geopolitical circumstances changed,
no, so
which is why we stopped.
We will get
now we're going to go back and buy from Venezuela
just like we got it
because
from Russia. No, just to clarify, are you saying that we will get the same kind of cheap
We don't
oil?
know the prices. We cannot debate this. May I just say, we don't know this. We cannot discuss this in darkness. We don't know the contours of at what price we will get this oil. But I'm quite sure from past experience that it will be cost effective. However, we have to understand that in order to do business with Trump's America, there is a give and take.
Okay.
We would have given
Ashutosh.
some and we would have received something
And today
in
Piyush
return.
Goyal said
What
that
would
when
we
it
receive
comes
in
to buying
return?
oil,
A dramatic reduction
for India.
of tariffs.
Padmaja, I would have taken Government of India's version very seriously, and I would have taken Piyush Goyal's version very seriously. But where is the deal? Do we know where is the deal? Where is the photo op? Where is the exchange of files? Where is the inking of on the contract? And Mr. Trump very recently has increased the tariff on South Korea. Just listen.
Are you saying there's no deal and Trump announced it unilaterally without there being an actual deal, and now we are just trying to catch up?
There is no deal.
There is no deal?
It's just an announcement by the two heads of the states. Where is the deal inked? Nowhere. Where are the details? Nobody knows. In the last month only, the Trump has increased tariff on South Korea from 15% to 25%, saying you did not meet the conditions.
Okay.
Now, what we are talking about? So unless I see the document, unless the world sees the document inked by paragraph after paragraph, there is nothing except the Prime Minister's
a very sinister turn, because
tweet
now
and
we
accept the
started
President's
this program to
tweet.
debate
Nothing
a
else.
deal, which Ashutosh ji says there is no deal. It was just
there is no deal.
Donald Trump who woke up and he said, I'm going to announce it on Twitter, and suddenly the entire country of India...
I'm asking, where is the document?
Where is the document, Pradeep Bhandari? And I'm really sorry, Ghanshyam Tiwari, I really want to come to you, but Pradeep Bhandari needs to answer. Where is the deal? This is some Moh Maya Mithya.
Well, Padmaja, there is a very famous saying by Mark Twain, and I quote, "It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt." This is exactly what the opposition panelists are doing, because just a minute back, Ashutosh was giving us the details of the deal, which neither you or me were aware about. Well, it's commonsensical that the outcome of the deal is out there, that the tariffs have reduced from 50% to 18%. It is logical that anybody who has common sense that a joint statement will be made very, very soon, where the details of the trade deal will be out. But the outcome and the structure is there. Now, come on, Ashutosh, do not act. You have some amount of logic. You are acting exactly like Rahul Gandhi on economy. You are very good on politics, but
I'll take it as a compliment.
Bad on economy.
I'll take it as a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment.
If you believe that,
I'm not saying that Rabindranath Tagore has got the Peace Nobel Prize. At least I do not say that Rabindranath Tagore has got the Peace Nobel Prize.
Well, your leader thinks
your learned party president. Your learned party president and the chief minister of Delhi is saying AQI is equal to temperature.
Jalebi from factories. If you can make jalebi
No, not jalebi from factory. Your party president doesn't know. Your party president doesn't know. Rabindranath Tagore has got a Peace Nobel Prize of the literature.
Your party,
don't give gyan.
Your party president can make jalebi.
Don't give gyan. Don't give gyan.
Okay.
Don't give gyan.
But I wonder, Ashutosh ji, I thought you were a neutral political analyst. You are actually behaving like a.
I had never been neutral.
Edgy.
I don't claim I'm neutral. No, I never claimed that I'm neutral.
Well, Padmaja, I would appeal for the benefit of the viewer. You should write second Congress spokesperson out.
I never claimed I'm neutral. So why are you worried?
Okay,
Please change pro analyst,
let's not discuss
pro Congress
individuals.
analyst.
Ghanshyam Tiwari has been waiting.
It's like calling this professor.
No, but
There is still a hard copy, but there is no hard copy right now, Ghanshyam Tiwari. But two things which were asserted today again and again by the government and said on record by Piyush Goyal. One, dairy farmers are going to be protected. India's interests are going to be in the forefront when it comes to buying fuel from wherever we buy it. Why is that not convincing enough? Because your party leader has raised specifically the issue of farmers.
Good evening, Padmaja, to you, the viewers and the fellow co-panelists. This is not a FTA. This is a ATA, Arm Twist Agreement, announced by Mr. Modi. No, announced by Mr. Trump and said thank you by Mr. Modi. The first time Mr. Trump decided that he wants to be the super prime minister of India was Operation Sindoor, when he said that he has created a ceasefire on either some kind of greed or some kind of fear with respect to trade agreement. And now we have a trade agreement. Did Piyush Goyal prompt the world that the Indian farmers are in danger or the Indian dairy market is in danger? No. It is Mr. Trump. The Arm Twist Agreement, the author of Arm Twist Agreement said that India has agreed to deal in agriculture. And did Mr. Piyush Goyal offer any detail? It was a shameful verbal diarrhea presented on television, blaming the opposition, but saying that the 140 crore people of India thank the Prime Minister, who's thanking Mr. Trump, the super Prime Minister of India. This is the kind of shame BJP is subjecting India to, that there is no deal on the table. There is no details available on the table. The minister comes and he is barely able to speak about Pashupalak or the animal husbandry, people dependent on animal husbandry, keeps thanking Mr. Modi, makes 140 crore of people thank Mr. Modi, but has nothing to offer.
But
the questions remain.
Going
India
by
is
your
losing.
logic, if you're saying there is no deal, then why are you already assuming that in this deal, the interests of India's farmers have been surrendered?
Well,
This, what you call an ATA. You yourself are saying that so far there is no deal. You don't know the fine print. Then how are you convinced that Indian farmers' interests have been surrendered?
The super prime minister in his tweet talks about the agricultural deal. Now maybe he's speaking the language taught to him by the prime minister. What is the agricultural deal? Where is this $500 billion coming from? How is the animal husbandry getting impacted? And why is Piyush Goyal only have empty words but no details? Why are they not addressing this in the parliament? The shameful conduct of this government under this Arm Twist Agreement is something that should worry each of us, because this government can go and strike a deal without telling the nation and still pat their own back that they are doing something right for the country.
In fact, the more important thing which Ghanshyam Tiwari, you usually come, with your newspapers, but I'm surprised how you did not know this today, Pradeep Bhandari, that the Agricultural Secretary of America has said very specifically, and I want to quote from that, where she has said, thank you, POTUS, for once again delivering for our American farmers. New US-India deal will export more American farm products to India's massive market, lifting prices and pumping cash into rural America. We were told that this is a sector where we are not going to introduce American produce. But the Agriculture Secretary of America is saying that now our markets are open. How?
Padmaja, good question. The BJP stands exposed here.
Padmaja,
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
Padmaja,
sir.
well, thanks. Chalo, Padmaja, at least now you are a credible journalist because Sanjay Jha has endorsed you. So now tomorrow Sanjay Jha...
No, I'm just being frank here.
You win tomorrow.
I still have one more point to make, by the way.
Sanjay Jha has always
Can I
spoken in his
answer?
praise except for Mr. Modi. But go on, Pradeep Bhandari.
No,
Answer.
Well, Padmaja, after
Padmaja, one
that
last point,
statement,
huh?
Just a second, let him
Oh
answer,
my
please,
God.
because it's an important question.
But why are you getting so cagey, Sanjay? Why are you so?
Pradeep is a dear friend of mine. I have nothing
frustrated?
against him.
Allow
Pradeep,
me.
go ahead. Yeah.
Well, allow me. Yes. Well, Padmaja, after that statement, you had the Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal making it categorically clear that Indian dairy and farmers are protected, and the interest of the Indian dairy and farmers are protected. So there will not be a single agricultural product which Bharat did not allow before and will be allowed now, which is what the minister has made very clear. But I have a very specific question, Padmaja, here. Well, the two leaders of the country, whether it is President Trump of United States of America and Indian Prime Minister, have mentioned the outcome of the deal. Why is the Indian opposition so unhappy when India has got a deal with United States of America which will benefit the Indian textile, garment sector, MSME and everybody else? Was the opposition hoping to linger it as a political issue at the cost of Indian farmers? Point number one. Point number two, why do you not believe the Indian official statement? Because maybe you always believe some third party and adversary. This is why a day back Rahul Gandhi was quoting and misquoting the former army chief, where the former army chief publicly stated that India gave a befitting reply to the Chinese. So I cannot answer an opposition which never believes the official stand of Indian government. The people of the country are with us. This is why we have been sitting in the government since 2014, and every fake.
So you're saying we should not believe the Agriculture Secretary of America? Are they speaking for their domestic audience? We should discount what
you should definitely believe the Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. Wait for the fine print of
believe Piyush Goyal, not Agriculture Secretary of America.
See, Padmaja, I have always been taught as a journalist that governments have very low credibility. And it is the job of the journalist to keep exposing them. So what the government of India is saying, I take it with a pinch of salt.
Congress party?
Now the issue is the Brooke Rollins have categorically written on the Twitter. Has government of India contradicted that? No. Is there any reaction from the MEA? No. Is there any reaction from the Agriculture Secretary? No. And openly saying that American produce will be available in the Indian market. It's a huge market. And $1.3 billion deficit will be reduced. This is what the Brooke Rollins is saying. And government of India has to come out openly and contradict that.
But Ashutosh ji, you are saying that anyway governments have very low credibility. Brooke Rollins is also part of the American government. Now we have to choose who do we listen to between two governments, both of them having low credibility. Would you rather listen to the government of India or the government of America?
Padmaja,
they also have a domestic audience. They need to
This is not about the Modi government. I held the same opinion about the Manmohan Singh government, about the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. That is the job of a journalist.
Government. Because Brooke Rollins ultimately is a part of the American government. He has to tell people that are American farmers, unki bum ho gayi.
So the government of India should come out openly on this. Does government of India agree with Brooke Rollins or not? That is an issue.
This is not how.
Does agree or not?
Mr. Ashutosh,
one point not covered
to get into your trap. The Indian Commerce Minister has categorically said that the rights of
I heard the entire press conferences. I heard the entire press conference. He was only ranting.
The gems and jewelry sector.
There was no substance in his press conference. Absolutely zero substance.
Substance and Rahul Gandhi.
No, zero substance. Absolutely zero substance.
You think everybody?
No. I had to grab attention. I was eagerly waiting about the details of the deal, and then I realized that
categorically said that it's a historic deal. We've got a better.
No way. Every Indian. No.
Okay, a lot of this confusion will be cleared simply when we have things in black and white. In the meantime.
So what are they opposing right now? What are they opposing right now when they do not have things in detail? What are they opposing?
We are opposing what? We are opposing that the government, the President of America makes an announcement.
You have a problem that somebody who...
Listen to this. We are opposing. We are opposing what the President of America...
Your essence says that you hate India's progress.
Let me say, Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, let me say this.
Deal with US after EU. You were thinking we will not
because Mr. Trump makes an announcement and the Prime Minister of the country jumps to thank him.
Why did Trump announce it? That's what they're opposing. Pradeep, why did Trump announce it?
Well,
because he's the super Prime Minister of India. Ghanshyam said it right.
We are thanking
Prime Minister of India. But
and Piyush Goyal कह रहे थे कि
yes, go on. Sanjay Jha, last 10 seconds, please. Yes.
Yeah. One point that has not been covered in the debate, Mr. Modi has given Mr. Trump the assurance that India will buy 500 billion worth of goods and services. We don't know over what period of time. But hypothetically, just assume it's going to happen over 5 years. If it happens over 5 years, you're talking about 100 billion of imports that India will do. You know what is India's current imports? 45 billion. So India will double buying it from America. Will it have money to buy from EU or any other part of the world?
Hindol Sengupta, please clarify this. $500 billion promised how?
It's a complete sellout.
Complete sellout.
Yeah. You'll have a trade deficit with America where you have a surplus.
India already imports. This is what riles me, because it's impossible to speak over the foolishness of others if they keep screaming and shouting.
India already imports of professors who don't have to be there.
Okay, we have last 10 seconds. Please, let's get to the facts. Hindol Sengupta.
Come to the point, bro.
We already import a certain level from America. We obviously have to expand it in any trade deal. That's why there's a trade deal. If nobody is going to budge from any position, then there is no deal. This much should be common sense. Most likely, we don't know the details, but most likely, we probably will expand certain things that we already export. For instance, we are expanding ethanol use in the country. Perhaps we could do more in that aspect with America. However, I do think in the core of Indian agriculture, no government in India can give up on the core of Indian agriculture, no matter what the idiocy that goes on in certain debates and by certain people. No government in India can give up on the core of Indian agriculture.
Okay, before we reach that conclusion,
across
I think
party
it's
lines,
important
that
for
is
everyone
sacrosanct.
to see this deal in black and white, and a lot of this preemptive outrage perhaps will be dealt with only when we see that trade deal in ink. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for having joined me completely out of time. Thanks very much for watching.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
सरसों से सरसों. A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
M3M presents NDTV Master Stroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
I have always had this inclination towards art, and if we don't collaborate and bring those artists forward, give them a platform, who else will?
Honoring the masters who define our cultural landscape, M3M presents NDTV Master Stroke Art Awards on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindoor,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig, until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है। बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है, आगे नहीं सबसे आगे जाना है, स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है।
The wait is over following Dhurandhar's strong box office performance. The makers have now treated fans to the much-anticipated teaser of its sequel, Dhurandhar: The Revenge, out in March this year.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rock on with Shankar Ehsaan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan